We're going to get right into it, man. It's a lot going on. I missed a lot. Got a lot to catch up on. If you've been paying attention, the streets are hot right now. It's a lot of fuckery going on as usual, but there's an extreme amount going on. And we talked about the Austin Metcalf. Sorry, y'all. We talked about the Austin Metcalf situation, Carmelo Anthony. It was a assault, murder. It was a unaliving that took place at a track meet. A young brother took somebody's life, and he got out on bail. I did not get a chance to cover that. When he got out on bail, I'm gonna say MAGA, okay? Because let me tell you something. I've been paying close attention. I wanted to see was against, who was speaking up. I wanted to see who was verbal in speaking up against Carmelo Anthony, because right before the Carmelo Anthony situation, there was a march. And I wanted to see what the Democrats were going to say about this. Not surprisingly, the Democrats are silent. The people who are marching and wanted us to march, the people who wanted us to boycott Target, the people who wanted us to fight, they seem to be silent. But I think they're mixed in with the MAGA crowd. But for the most part, the MAGA crowd are the people who are talking about hanging Carmelo Anthony from a tree. They are the ones being very hypocritical. They are the ones making nasty comments on social media. And I'm paying close attention because I really want to see who's saying what and what's going on. So, Carmelo Anthony gets bail and social media erupts. Everybody's upset. People are mad. Americans, patriots, so-called patriots are mad because a U.S. citizen got bail. I'm totally lost. Why MAGA? Where's MAGA at? Y'all bring y'all funky asses up in here. Come on up in here. Because I'm totally lost as to why you all are upset that this young brother got bail. Okay? As an American citizen, it is his right to get bail. Kim Williams, what up? Obviously, I'm gonna get to Jake in a minute. Jake Lang. Obviously, the courts. Now let me tell you why he may have gotten bail. Pay attention. The courts, the case must be weak. There must be something that we don't know about this case because they gave him bail. Now, if this dude was the guy that they say he is, right? And if he was just some tackhead that just stood up and antagonized Austin to get that knife put in him, and he was just this rogue, crazed, knife-wielding individual, he would not have got bail. Somebody being in the judicial system at an early age, I understand that they will give you bail if you have certain circumstances. Now listen, another reason they gave him bail is because he has two parents at home. His two parents are not ratchet degenerates, okay? Nah, Kim Williams, I ain't talking to you. I'm talking to whoever it applies to. I'm not talking to you specifically. He got bail because he has two parents at home who are not ratchet, right? Who have jobs, who have careers, who have money. Money. Okay, this is the American way, as our brother Nino Brown said. It's the American way. If you got some money, you can get bail, right? So why is everybody mad? Why is MAGA mad? This is outrageous at the fact that people talk about being patriots. They talk about being Americans. They talk about justice, liberty for all. But when this young 17-year-old black kid gets bail, everybody is having a fit. I think it's hilarious though. I really think it's hilarious of the fact that the hypocrisy that we're seeing right now when it comes to certain people. You understand? Kim Williams says, "I'm MAGA, but this is about race." Yes, yes, it's about race, and unfortunately, it is about race. Unfortunately, and there's several reasons to that. I think I broke it down in my last video. I'm gonna get to the topic of the video in a minute. I gotta catch y'all up because I missed a lot. So when we seen Trayvon Martin, when we seen the countless amount of unarmed men getting shot, we were hearing from other people, and they were saying they should follow the law. We were hearing that we should wait for the justice system. People had so much faith in the justice system, and people had so much, they wanted us to turn to the justice system. So I'm trying to figure out why now is everybody mad at the black judge. It was a black lady who was the judge who presided over his bail hearing, and she gave him bail. She has to have security. They are threatening her life. She's been getting death threats, y'all. She's been getting death threats. A judge has been getting death threats. Now, a black judge has been getting the death threats. So let me say this. This is why it's about race. Let me just get this out the way. And I'm gonna keep it a buck. Everything is about race, dog. Let's just keep it real, man. The world, America was built on a race. It was on a race to conquer. It was on a race for power. It was on a race to subdue and to make others submit, right? So most of the things that we encounter on a day-to-day basis is about race. And I noticed the dominant society, they say, well, it's not about race because they don't really feel the effect of the race because the way the power structure is set up. Now, those on the bottom of the power structure, we're gonna feel it a little bit different. We're gonna feel it a little bit more. You understand? So, the judge in this case, a U.S. citizen, American judge, has to have security, extra security around her home because she's been receiving death threats for following the law. Now, Austin's not a flight risk. Why is it that these people who are upset about this, they conveniently forget what the law is about? They conveniently forget the procedures in the courtroom when it comes to a bail hearing. Austin is 17 years old. He doesn't have a private jet. He doesn't have he probably don't have a car. He's not a flight risk. Why wouldn't he get bail? Because you're mad that the people are mad that Austin stood up for himself. Number one, let's just be real. Austin stood up for himself. Now, if Carmelo killed Jaquan, wouldn't nobody give two shits, including myself probably. I would probably shake my head at it and be like, damn, another one. You dig? And that's just keeping it in the buck. So the reality is, Carmelo killed a Caucasian boy. And that's why we're here. And that's why this is the biggest story all year. Which brings us to Jake Lang. If you see my thumbnail, you see Jake Lang alongside a big buck-broken raccoon. Okay, I don't know who this guy is, but we're gonna get to him in a minute because I gotta break this down. Because he is clearly, you can look at him and tell, he's not a foundational black American. He looks like he's from the Sudan or somewhere in East Africa. And this is why we have had to delineate from other groups. And we had to focus and distinguish our foundational black American heritage because of big, buck-broken coons like that dude in the video. Go watch that video. Jake Lang showed up in Frisco, Texas, And his whole premise is to save white lives, right? This is his whole premise. He's out there talking about uh, the black violence is getting out of control. And we're going to get to that too. How black violence is being promoted, how it is being publicized over everybody else's crime, right? This shit is getting weird, y'all. Ultimately, I have to say this. There is a force, there is a power behind the scenes that is trying to start a race war. We've heard it for years, but this shit right here is different, y'all. This is different. They are really, and listen, they in Texas. I want you to peep where they at. They are really pushing. As soon as the story broke, I'm talking about all kind of fake profiles popped up on my page pushing this story out. And I found that to be very odd. Now you got Jake Lang and his raccoon buddy out in Texas propagating things such as save the white race, as if we are attacking white people. And that is absolutely absurd. When you hear it, when I heard it, I thought it was a joke. I'm like, this guy can't be serious. This guy cannot be serious. He can't be serious, man. He's taking one situation and propagating like there's an attack on white Americans. And we all know that that's not true. He even got on the phone with Austin's dad. Did y'all see that? Jake Lang, and side note, Jake Lang was a J6er who was pardoned. Okay, go look him up. I did a little bit of research. I didn't have much time. Jake Lang was a J6er. He was pardoned by Donald Trump. And now he's out here basically stomping and inciting hatred between white people and black people and making up false narratives. Texas Bama, what it do? He's making up false narratives trying to rile people up. So listen, while he was out there chanting and telling lies, they put Austin's father on the phone. And Austin's father was like, listen, I don't know who you are. Take my son off your website. I have nothing to do with you. We have nothing to do with you. You're trying to get paid. You're trying to incite hate and cause division. And that was a powerful thing right there. To see Austin's father tell the truth like that and to put him on blast. And you know what Jake and his coon buddy said? They said that was called white guilt and that he's weak and all this other crazy stuff. And the biggest question I have is why, I know it's a free country. Why is anybody allowing this dude to come out here and do what he's doing? Because he's going to get some people hurt, man. He's going to start some shit. You dig? This type of nonsense is crazy. Where are these people at when, if it's not about race, right? Where are these people at when the school shooters pop up? Where they at when the school shooters? We just had another school shooting. How many school shootings have we had? Now listen, let's talk about black crime real quick, because I want to start doing a bunch of videos on black crime, because the reason why they publicize black crime is called propaganda. They're trying to propagate a narrative against black people. That's just all it is to it. Okay, now listen, they don't report when the Chinese syndicate is sending over tons of fentanyl. They don't report at nauseum when crime is committed in other cultures. For some reason, and I understand what it is. I've always understood what it is. Black destruction is a $1 billion industry. If you look at Love and Hip Hop, you got chicks when they're fighting, throwing waters at each other. Zeus Network, That's just basically a boxing ring where black women get together and just fight. And this is heavily funded. And this stuff is not pushed out by black networks because we don't really own networks. So then you go to the music side of things and look at the top rappers. You got NBA Youngboy. You got Chief Keef, right? These are some of the biggest rappers of today. And you have to scratch your head and ask yourself, what in the hell, why in the hell? Now, NBA Youngboy is talented. I like NBA. Chief Keef is not talented, okay? Why did he receive $6 million for his record deal? Why did they push him out? And then we saw, after Chief Keef came out, we saw every major black city turn into Little Chicago. You dig? So, Jake Lang, where you at when the school shooters pop up? Because there is a difference. When things take place in inner cities and small towns amongst black people, it is usually for a reason. It is usually over drugs, crime, gang activity, things of that nature. There's some rhyme or reason for it. And there are two guilty parties that are killing each other most of the time. Most of the time when young black men kill each other, it is a two-party thing. A criminal versus criminal, right? Does everybody agree? I'm gonna say it again. Most of the time, when black people kill each other, I said most, I'm gonna watch my words wisely. Most of the time, it is a criminal versus a criminal. Somebody that is in the criminal, two people that are in a criminal lifestyle together, okay? Now, when a school shooter pops up, they walk into school and they start mowing down kids, children. Do we not think that that's more of an urgency than this Austin and Carmelo case? You would think that the school shooter epidemic, pandemic, because it hasn't stopped, dog. It's been going on and on and on. I need to look up the stats to see how many school shootings happen. Why aren't people talking about this? Why aren't they focused on stopping these school shooters? Most of the time when people do these school shootings or these mass shootings, they are connected to white supremacist websites. This is a fact, y'all. Don't get mad at me. This is just a fact. This is a proven fact that they are linked in with people like 4chan, and other groups. They have found, what is that word? Documents, manifestos, okay? All of this stuff is linked to racism, okay? Most of these school shooters are really upset and they are linked in with racist groups, and those racist groups are linked in with the police. Do y'all understand that? I know the media won't tell you about that, but this is already known, okay? So, you got Jake and his coon buddy, right, out here putting on a real weird show. It's the strangest thing that I've seen in a long time. I want to know who the brown skin dude. I'm not gonna call him a black dude because that dude is not black. I want y'all to look real quick. Look at my thumbnail. That brown skin dude that's with Jake, he is not foundational black American. I will bet $1,000 on it right now. He looks like he's from East Africa. He looks like he's from the Sudan or something. He looks like Myron Gaines' homeboy. He looks like he's from that ilk or that lineage. Now, this is why, man. This is why we have focused on foundational black Americans, because this is how people from other countries act when they come over here. Not all, of course. We got real thorough people that come over here, but we've noticed a pattern of people that come over here from other countries, the Caribbean, East Africa. East Africa is real heavy on that, okay? They don't even consider themselves black. On their paperwork, they put Caucasian. But they'll come over here and they have a certain hate for black Americans. And if you look at that video, that dude, see, that dude is like an alien to me. I've never seen such an individual like that, especially in person. I've never seen somebody with the same color skin as me act the way this dude is acting, or even align himself with people that he's aligning himself with. And it's super strange, man. We got to put these people on blast. Because they are out here they starting a lot of drama, dog, and they are telling lies, and it looks like they are running some type of distraction. You understand? Because what is going on behind the scenes? Why isn't anybody stopping these people? Because they're clearly lying. You dig? They are clearly out here telling falsehoods, because everybody knows that if anything, there is a issue with black people, young black youth killing young black youth. I'm not gonna say black on black crime, because there's no that doesn't exist in any other culture. You don't hear the term white on white crime. You don't hear the term Mexican on Mexican crime. You don't hear the term Chinese on Chinese crime. For some reason, we are the only people that have this term called black on black crime. And that shit is weird too. So, I'm trying to figure out, man, why would they even come out here and pretend like there's an attack on white Americans? They're saying white lives matter, save white lives, and that shit is crazy to me, dog. That shit is crazy, all because of one incident. You dig? Kim Williams says yes, especially the Ethiopians. Hey man, I had, this is why things are the way they are. You know what I mean? This is why we're putting an exclamation point on the fact that we're foundational black Americans, because these people are not like us. In the good words of Brother Kendrick, I'm not saying all. I'm gonna say that again. I'm not saying all, but y'all not calling these people out, man. Look, why? Whatever lineage he's from, if you're from his lineage, y'all should be throwing tomatoes at this dude, because this shit is outrageous, man. But I digress, man. Let me slow down for a second. I want to get back to the facts. We're gonna go back to this case. Now, my opinion. This is my opinion. You got people that think Carmelo's gonna walk. I don't believe Carmelo's gonna walk. You understand? I believe Carmelo is gonna get a manslaughter charge. This is just from my experience in the judicial system. Now, not only that, what he said is going to play a major part on what charge he gets. What he said after the fact, okay? The only thing you're supposed to say after that is, I feared for my life, call my lawyer. That is it. If you don't say, I feared for my life, you got to have your verbiage correct. Because if you go up there talking about, can I claim self-defense? Because that's what he said. He said, can I claim self-defense? I'm not saying that that's an admission of guilt, but the only thing you should be saying is, I feared for my life. You understand? But I believe, it's not a popular belief in my community, but I believe Carmelo's going to get, he's going to get manslaughter. And the reality is, I'm going to just keep it a buck on here with y'all, man. And a lot of people going to disagree with me. The boy should get some sort of charge. You dig? He should get some sort of charge. He should get some sort of charge, because let's just keep it a buck, man. The knife was unnecessary. Do I understand? I understand. Now, let me get to this. Let me get to this important part, because I was once in high school. I'm going to just give my own conjecture. I believe that they knew each other. I believe Carmelo was waiting for dude to approach him I believe he was receiving threats from this big boy. Okay, I'm gonna tell you why. Hold tight, because you might be like, Flight, man, listen, you doing too much. It's too much speculation. I'm gonna tell you, listen, we're gonna break this down. See, I like to study people. I like to study psychology, and the psychology of a person. Okay, now I believe that there was some sort of history there. Okay, it's a lot of fake stories popping up. Some may be true, but I don't believe it until it's confirmed. But there is a story floating out there that is saying that there was a fight before this track meet. They got into an altercation a week prior to the track meet. This is what I'm hearing. I don't know how true this is. Either way, I believe that they had some history together. Okay? And the reason why I say that is I remember being in certain situations. I remember being on alert and when I had beef, because I always stayed in some sort of beef. All my teens, early 20s, I always had somebody always had a problem with me. And I always had a problem with somebody. So I remember always having something. I remember being in school getting a hot tea, you dig? Or being down at the store and get a hot tea or a hot chocolate just in case the op pulls up. I have my weapon. You understand? I got my hot coffee. I'm going to douse this dude and then I'm going to take off on him. So the way that Carmelo was prepared tells me that there was some sort of tension. There was already some sort of threat there. I'm going to use that word. There was some sort of threat there. Now, let me tell you something. Scared people who are scared, they get weapons. Okay? People who are scared get weapons. Yes, I probably was scared. I don't even say maybe I was a little scared, but who isn't scared before they about to fight? Everybody should be scared before they fight, unless you just super duper tough dude. But people who are big and their enemy is smaller, they don't need to have a weapon, okay? Or people who are big and they don't feel intimidated, they don't need a weapon. If there's a level of intimidation there, the person who is intimidated is going to have a weapon prepared. So, I believe that he knew he was going to a place where Austin and his brother was going to be. And the moment came that he knew was going to come, or he prepared for. And what happened was Austin and his brother. See, people keep forgetting this, man. Austin and his brother approached that boy. That's why I'm not 100% mad at what he did. I don't believe that Austin meant to take his life. I mean, Carmelo. I don't believe Carmelo meant to take his life. I don't believe that. That's why I'm not mad at Lil Homie. And I'm going to tell you another reason I'm not mad at Lil Homie. It was two incidences when I was a kid. Me and my brother got into it with some people. And I was real little. My brother's short, too. My brother and me got into it. My brother got into it with this boy named Phil. Two separate incidents. And Phil approached my brother. And my brother took an axe handle and hit a home run. Okay. He hit a home run. And Phil he went to the hospital and he was in bad condition. And I remember the police coming to my house, and I think they locked my brother up that time. And I remember I remember we had to go to the lawyer's office. I remember, and this is why it's kind of hitting home for me. This is kind of hitting home for me because I remember going through these things as a kid. So, my brother was smaller, Phil was bigger. So my brother took that axe handle and hit a home run with his noggin. And The courts got involved. My brother ended up probation, um, lawyer fees and all that. There was a second time. This dude, this dude named Wiley. You all right? It was a dude named Wiley. All right. And this was partly my fault. You understand? A part of this was my fault. Um, we went up the street, and I think somebody stole my X-Men game, my Sega game. Anyway, long story short, my brother had to play baseball with somebody else's head. Pardon me. He had to go upside somebody's head, and this was even worse. This was even worse. Dude really was in bad shape. Like, I don't know what happened to him, but I remember me and my brother, we got ghosts. We had to be going, we running and running and running. Sirens is going. You know what I mean, more lawyer fees, more probation, more courthouse. You understand? So this case hits home for me, man, because I totally understand what it is like to be intimidated or to be in situations like this. I don't think Carmelo meant to take that boy's life, man. The method in which he used was extreme. Either way, Carmelo is ready for whatever. Carmelo is ready for the penitentiary. Okay? Because just to hit somebody in the heart, okay, you gotta be of a certain cloth. You understand what I'm saying to you? So either way, lower homie, if he gotta go behind the wall, he gonna be all right. Cause the boy got heart, and the boy, he's missing something up there. You know what I mean? To put that knife in somebody's heart, you gotta be missing a little piece of something. You dig? So, and I'm not laughing at the situation. It's unfortunate all the way around. Kids that don't get a chance to grow up and to know what it's like to be a man and work things out in a man sense, it's unfortunate. And we make decisions as kids that affect us for the rest of our lives. But I totally get it. I do think he's gonna get a manslaughter charge. People are trying to frame this as if Carmelo gets off, there's gonna be riots. I don't understand why people are trying to do this. Why are people trying to gaslight us? What are you trying to gaslight us for in this situation? Now, I'm not saying some people don't feel like that. I don't feel like that. Um, I feel like it will be a miscarriage of justice if he gets a M1. He shouldn't get an M1, dog. It's not premeditated. I don't believe he premeditated it. I believe he premeditated to defend himself. See, it's a difference between, now, if he'd have ran up on him, if he'd have ran up on Austin, that's a whole nother ball game. That's premeditated. When I see this dude, I'm going to take off on him. I'm going to get him before he get me, however they was doing it. That wasn't the case. He was sitting there under the tent as it rained. They said it poured down rain. Well, why in the hell would anybody tell another human being to get from under the tent when it was raining? You dig? So that's another reason I believe that these two knew each other. All right? Look, anybody can comment. Please keep it respectful. Keep it logical. I don't have a lot of tolerance for nonsense. I've been coming into people on social media. They got the they are not even being fair. Okay, they are just being extremely one-sided. And now let's just use common sense, man, and let's talk about it and cycle through it the way it should be cycled through. Don't just come up here talking about, oh, he needs to go to prison. No, why does he need to go to prison? Okay, and we're not even going to get into the precedent that was set with George Zimmerman, Daniel Penny, and Kyle Rittenhouse. We're going to say this until we're blue in the face, because this is what the U.S. Judicial system told us was acceptable. Y'all told us that this was acceptable. Y'all told us that you can use deadly force on an unarmed person. You told us that, America, the judicial system. That's what y'all told us with those three cases. You understand? So people are trying to act like those three situations don't compare to this current situation. Yes, they do, because a precedent was set. Okay, and we were told that it is okay to use deadly force when you feel intimidated or when you feel that you fear for your life. Daniel Penny didn't even fear for his life. Daniel Penny snuck up behind a special needs man and took his life. And he went home. And he's home. Not only did he go home, Donald Trump and J.D. Vance paraded him around like a hero. And then people trying to tell us, well, no, that's different. No, it's not fucking different. It's not different. Kim Williams says they did know each other. Kim Williams says they talking about charging Austin's brother. Let me tell you something. I believe that there will be more facts coming out. I don't believe. Look. Look. I'm very tapped in. I'm tuned in, and I remember when I was a kid. You can't tell me that Austin walked up to that boy and was like, "Hey, sir, can you please move?" Yeah, and then got X'd out, got deleted. You can't tell me that that's the way it went down. The judge saw fit to lower the bond and then to let him go home on house arrest. That also tells me the courts don't have the case that everybody is trying to push. If he was such a bad guy, he would not be out on bail. You dig? So, this is going to be a very interesting case. It's going to be a lot more developments, a lot more going on. And I hope and pray that the good people of America can use their senses. The people that want war and the people that want violence, I hope they can get flooded out with the people who are going to um, have have compassion, have sense, and have intelligence. Because at the end of the day, let me tell you something. I was listening to the Chinese, some Chinamen, talking about how they're not backing down and basically saying, look, if y'all want war, we'll go to war. Okay? Now, I want to say this to everybody, and I hope anybody can hear me. I would wish the whole world could hear me. At the end of the day, man, everybody has families, right? A lot of these things can be worked out without violence. When the shit hit the fan, it's going to be too late. And I want everybody to think about this beforehand. You understand? Don't let these Jake Langs pump you up and cause more division. Or I don't even want to say, I don't like saying cause a division because it's already division there. You understand? When you can free a George Zimmerman, when you can free a Daniel Penny, but you can question why Carmelo got bail, there's already division there. You understand? That it's not me, dog. It's not me. I'm not the one obsessed with racism, dog. I'm just pointing out what I'm seeing, right? George Zimmerman, he got bail, didn't he? Didn't Zimmerman get bail? He hit a 17-year-old. He had a pistol. The 17-year-old did not have anything. He got bail. Nobody questioned none of that. So the division is already there. It's not me making it up. It's nobody pulling a race card or nothing like that. This is real shit, dog. And if you look at the facts, you'll see it's all there for yourself, man. And a lot of y'all already know this. Y'all just like to play games and shit. But yeah, man, I'm gonna sign off. I will be back with more updates. I'm gonna let y'all know what's going on. I'm sure I probably missed something. I've been very busy. A lot of videos have been getting edited, so I haven't been able to tap in like that. But I'm gonna try to get back to y'all tomorrow or Wednesday. I gotta go down the road tomorrow. But anyway, y'all be easy, man. Be safe and be smart, man. All right, peace. I'm out.